Malandrino, global markets reporter at Nasdaq. Joining me all the way in from Thailand, we have Poramin Insom, he's the founder of Zcoin. We also have Reuben, he's the COO of Zcoin. Last time we met, guys, it was back in Consensus in May in New York City. Welcome back to the States. Welcome to Nasdaq Market Site. Something very interesting has happened since we spoke in May. An election of many firsts using blockchain technology took place in Thailand. Tell us about that.
Actually, it happened during November this year, and this election took about like 5 days. And in this election, there is about like 120,000 people vote in this election.
Mm-hmm. Now, this was with Thailand's Democrat Party. It's the oldest political party, right? They held the primary vote utilizing Zcoin blockchain technology. So, Reuben, what are the benefits of using blockchain for this election?
I think the interesting part of it was, there's a lot of distrust between the different candidates, and they didn't trust for like a centralized storage of all the votes. And what blockchain provides is that once you have recorded the votes, it's really difficult to tamper with the votes once it's stored on the blockchain. So I guess it's more like tamper resistance. And this also is like, I think, the first wide-scale e-voting. And I think the blockchain was an essential element to get all the parties to actually agree to use the e-voting system in the first place.
It is amazing that they actually came together and did agree on this. That's the first step. Now, this allows you to instantly audit and verify votes.
That's correct. Because everything is stored on blockchain and is in form of digitized information, so that we can look all the data on the blockchain and decrypt it and see what is actually happening during that election.
Now, are the votes anonymous then if it's on blockchain?
We had a sort of a separate layer of encryption where we segregated the voter identification, and we also segregated the votes themselves, and that we had no one party, not even the Electoral Commission, that could actually open the votes unless with all the stakeholders providing their private keys to open it. So even though you look on the blockchain, you can't tell who's voting or anything like that, and you need all the stakeholders present to open those keys, so that if you want to audit individual votes.
And the results are uncontested.
Yes,
right.
Uncontested.
So, Poramin, it's interesting why the Thailand Democrat Party approached you. You actually have a background in cybersecurity, right? What's the advantage that you have then?
So basically, the way that I'm looking in this election, I'm looking as someone that has bad intention to how to make voting prefer some candidate.
Right.
That is something that I try to prevent as well.
So if you know, for lack of a better term, you know how to hack, you know exactly what to look for.
Yes, correct.
It's almost like casinos employ ex-gamblers because they know exactly what to look for. So Reuben, let me ask you this question. This was a small test of how blockchain can be used in a global election. Do you think this could spread globally? Do you think this is going to hit other parts of the world?
I definitely think, this wasn't just a one-off. Even the Democrat Party has said that they will use this system not just for voting, but for polling. I think it gives, people direct interaction with the Democrat Party. Let's say, want to have some sort of referendum. And I think, especially in those use cases where the threat level isn't so high, blockchain technology or e-voting makes a lot of sense there. Of course, when you're talking about, in the US, you're talking about national elections. Of course, you're talking about state level type of stuff. Then, of course, maybe you might, the technology may need to catch up, because blockchain only solves one component, which is the storage of the votes. But there's so many elements, like from the hardware, software integrity, and those things need to be considered before we can go, let's say, with a national election.
Right.
But for things like internal party elections, or let's say polling, where you just you want the opinions of people, I think this is a great use of technology where you have a very high degree of security, and yet you have wide accessibility. People can just vote directly from their mobile phones.
Will other parties in Thailand use this for their primaries?
Not at this moment, because some party also using in a smaller scale, about 100 people, but this Democrat Party is the largest one that are looking for member about 100,000. But other or third party also looking for, but not at this moment.
Oh, I think it's exciting, and to see the results were uncontested, audited instantly, is really exciting in my mind. Thank you so much for joining us at MarketSite, and thank you for joining me. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq.